我有6个弟弟嘞，2个妹妹，1个姐姐啊，你看，他们每一个人家庭都有车的。
Maybe about 400 plus.
I drive a Mercedes, so
Yeah.
it's about 2K.
Oh, wow.
1,000, yeah.
If I'm very rich,
Oh, okay.
if I have like excess money, of course I would like to own a car because like money is not an issue.
Maybe if I hit the Toto 10 million.
Is it necessary for Singapore people to buy car?
If you have kids, like going to school and then you have to go to work, and I think I wouldn't say it's necessary, but convenient. Yeah, it's more convenient. You got your stuff in the car, like kids, there's a lot of stuff.
So if you ask me, I think overall, yes, but Singapore transport in itself is so robust. The network is so good. If you don't, you're not dependent on your kids' schedule or school schedule. You actually don't need a car.
我看在新加坡交通很方便了，有一个车不划算，一个月你花大概整千块供那个车，还有那车油呢，停车费呢，不小心没有地方给你趴车，等一下警察又给你一张3万的。
I guess it depends where you're located. Maybe some area are a bit less accessible, but for us where we live, there is many buses and trains, so it's easy for us.
Well, necessary is a very vague word. For me, it's not necessary, but I don't think I could live without it.
Yeah.
Necessary is a low bar, basically. So a lot of things aren't necessary, but it does make my life a lot easier. And without it, it would be a significant lifestyle change for me.
So will you encourage them to buy car?
It just really depends on your person to person. Of course, in Singapore, the calculus is about the COE. You need 10 years and all that. Well, just think about it. See if you can pay for it month to month. It's not a one-time purchase like a lot of places.
I would say not necessary, but good to have.
I think if you can afford it without having to pay too much expenses on it per month, I think it's a good investment, so to speak.
It's not a necessity, but it's more like a luxury. If anybody actually prefer the additional convenience, then yes, of course, a car makes sense. Like all Singaporeans, Asians, it's prestige. Yeah, driving a car in Singapore is of course seen as additional wealth status.
帮人家打工你就不需要有车了咯。人家现在新加坡也是很方便嘛，不用啦，不需要有车啦。除非那些做生意的人哦，还是过得去的人哦，那些人呢就可以咯。
No, I think the public transport system is pretty okay for people to get around. The car is just a bonus to save time. If you can afford it and then you want to get around easily, especially with family, especially with job and all, as compared to public transport, it might take a bit more time lah.
May I know what is your profession?
I'm an engineer.
Do you own a car?
Yeah, I own a car.
May I know what is the purpose of owning the car?
I just travel around a lot, and I have 2 brothers, so we share the vehicle. Makes more sense for us because I can share the vehicle as well. If it was just me, perhaps not.
I'm into banking.
Do you own a car?
I do. So it's primarily picking up the kids and ferrying the kids to school and for their CCAs, because sometimes when the CCA classes happen, it's very difficult for us to rush back to the office and manage our office timing. So it's primarily for the kids, yeah.
I'm an actuary working in arrangements.
Do you own a car in Singapore?
No, I don't. I think it's very easy to commute. I use mainly bus and train, and also walking when it's short distance. So we don't feel we need a car. Sometimes we use taxi when it's not so accessible.
Oh, may I know how long have you been in Singapore?
8.5 years.
So you are from which country?
I'm from France.
Office manager.
Do you own a car?
No, I don't. Public transport is easily accessible in Singapore, so I don't think there's a need for a car because like there's a lot of costs involved, like parking fees, like ERP, and then like you have to pay for insurance as well. But it's convenient to have a car. Actually, sometimes it's quite inconvenient to have a car as well because like finding car parks, like parkings when you go for like dinners, like peak hours. Yeah, it's quite inconvenient in some sense, but I think the convenience way outweighs the inconvenience.
Hi, I'm with a football academy.
Do you own a car?
No, I own a motorbike actually.
Oh, I'm a freelance director of photography. Yeah.
Do you own a car?
Yes, I do. It's a lot easier to travel with a vehicle around. I think sometimes if I am free, I will just go for a normal car ride around my neighborhood, or you enjoy the breeze sometimes. Just wind down the windows and things like that. Yeah. I think without a vehicle, you just lose a lot of time, and I feel like time is money in that sense. It's like stress-free, for example, right? Let's say you got a 9 o'clock meeting, for example, or like you plan your route, you 8:30 will leave. But because you have to take taxi or you have to take a bus, you have to wake up earlier and stuff like that.
我有6个弟弟嘞，2个妹妹，1个姐姐啊，你看，他们每个人家庭都有车的，现在哎呦很平常啦，一个家庭哦有2车，真是很平常了咯。
I know estimate around how much is a monthly expense for your car.
So I paid it outright, so there's no loan or anything. Monthly expenses, perhaps like petrol. And if you look at the road tax over the whole year, maybe about 400 plus.
I drive a Mercedes, so it's about 2K?
Oh wow.
1,000, yeah.
Wow, very high.
It's just monthly car loan. Road tax and
Insurance.
all that kind of thing, it's like a one-off payment, right? So usually it's about like a few thousands for 1 year ahead, right? Yeah, so you pay at one time. For me, I rather clear everything at once.
Depending on the car that you own. For mine, yeah, it's around like $1,500 to $1,600 a month. The car insurance and road tax is included in it, so divided into 12 months or 1 year. It's generally close to 10% of the overall income that goes into the car and stuff. Yeah.
Is it possible that in some situation you consider to buying a car?
If I'm very rich,
Oh, okay.
if I have like excess money, of course I would like to own a car because like money is not an issue.
May I know what is your profession?
I'm a realtor. What situation I'll consider buying a car? Maybe if I hit the Toto 10 But I think maybe if I really hit my financial goals, then I will consider owning a car.
How long will you getting a car? Will you consider to buy a car?
Probably in the next 2 to 3 years. So actually it's more for family outings and so on with the kids and my parents. It's easy to bring them around.
With the soaring price of petrol, will you consider buying electric vehicle, EV?
It's not something that I will consider. I feel like the awareness and the marketing for EVs are not there yet to a point where I'm not really educated enough to know more about EVs and the breakdowns and how it can help me with my life. At least for the time being, I'm not too concerned whether it's EV or petrol.
We are planning to change it to electric vehicle because there are certain subsidies given by the Singapore government. Even the few of the companies, they're coming up with their own offer. So we should also play a part in social and the economic and also the climate condition of not only Singapore but across the globe. So we will eventually move to the electric vehicles so that it's much more cheaper and sustainable also.
Yes and no. Electric vehicles themselves are not that cheap anymore. Well, overall, if you look at the electricity cost to charge the car versus petrol prices, it looks to be cheaper, but I think I'll give it a few more years before I consider an electric car.
Yeah, we've actually considered it because we have space in our place to put an electric vehicle and we already have a charging point. So we're actually looking at getting an electric vehicle now, actually.
Yes, of course. If the convenience of charging EV it's actually in place, then definitely yes. The decision would be an easier one to make.